What's up YouTube? Silver Dragons here, and this video is on what's better to buy, generic silver rounds or generic silver bars. Let's do it! Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. I sincerely appreciate it. This is going to be a fun one. We're talking about what's better to buy, generic silver rounds or generic silver bars. And there's a lot of pros and cons for both, so stick around. It's going to be an awesome video with lots of good information. But first, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing because I got a lot of really awesome silver-related content coming out. Okay, let's get into this one. And this is a question that lots of people have asked, what is better to buy? If you go to a local coin shop in your area and they sell a lot of silver, it's very likely that they will have generic silver rounds and generic silver bars. Now, for this video, I'm going to stick with 1 ounce rounds. Here's a Sunshine Minting one. These are very, very popular. And 999 fine silver. And then for the bars, we're sticking with the 10 ounce generic silver bars. These are the OPM bars. I got 3 of them. And then I do have my silver gold bowl bar that I haven't cut up and melted yet. But okay. So when we're talking about rounds or bars, there's lots of things you need to consider. The very first thing I do want to bring up is storage. Okay, which of them is easier to store? So as far as the generic silver rounds go, most of the time you store them in tubes like this. So they're really actually easy to store. And this is a tube of 20. You could hold 20 in this tube, or you could get the little tubes of 10, I guess, if you want. I'm not sure why anyone would want these. They're kind of cool, but they're more just for when people are selling 10 at a time. But yeah, I mean, they're super easy. You just toss them in the tubes, and then you can put them in your gun safe or whatever. And really easy storage. So there's no issues storing the generic silver rounds. Very easy to do. And then as far as 10 ounce silver bars, can you get any easier than this? Boom. Okay, so we got 30 ounces right here in a very compact, tiny little area. And then you just throw that in your gun safe and wham, bam, bam. So I would say they're actually even when it comes to storage. These are just as easy to store as these, and you can fit them in about the same amount of space. If you are like really packing them into your safe, maybe you can fit a little bit more of the 10 ounce bars. I mean, but that is such a, who's in that scenario where their massive gun safe is literally completely full and they can't have like this extra tiny little bit of room? I mean, honestly, that's not that much room right there, okay? So in my opinion, they're about equal when it comes to storage. So that's pretty much a wash, okay? In my mind, generic silver rounds, generic silver bars, they store about the same. Okay, let's get into price. Now, price is probably one of the biggest factors on which one would be better in your mind. And so when you go in, to your local coin shop, I would say that generally speaking, buying a 10 ounce bar, you're gonna get cheaper than buying 10 1 ounce rounds. So let's count out 10 of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So if we're just doing a straight comparison, this, if I went into my local coin shop today and I bought these, would cost me right around $161. Okay, I looked online and I priced it out. If I wanted to buy a 10 ounce bar, it would cost me $159. Okay, so for me personally, if I went into my coin shop today, this would save me $2 compared to these. So it's actually cheaper. So if you're trying to get your cost average down as low as you humanly possibly can, then generally speaking, the 10 ounce bars are going to be cheaper than 10 individual 1 ounce rounds. So if all you care about is just getting your price down, the cost down as low as you possibly can, then definitely the 10 ounce bars are a better buy. Like I said in the first part, to me, they're about the same for as far as storage goes. But for price, these win, definitely. So that's a ding. That's a thumbs up on the side of the 10 ounce bars, if all you care about is price. Now, for me personally, when I buy generic silver rounds or 10-ounce bars, usually I just end up melting them all in my furnace. So it actually does make more sense for me to buy these, and I think I'm going to be buying these more in the future. All I do is I just hit them with my bolt cutters, I cut them up, and then I can melt them just as easily as throwing these in there. So these actually are a little bit cheaper, and so it makes a little bit more sense for me to go that route. So yeah, that's a win as far as the 10-ounce bars go. If you're buying 1-ounce bars, they're usually about the same price as the rounds, or they cost a little bit more in my opinion. So, and a lot of coin shops don't really carry the 1-ounce bars. I mean, they might have a few, but the ones in my area, that's not their bread and butter. It's usually, as far as generics are concerned, you can get the 10 ounces or you can get 1-ounce rounds. So that's why I'm doing the comparison like that in this video. Okay, so we've talked about storage, we've talked about price. Let's talk about sellability. Okay, because what you buy them at is not necessarily what you're going to sell them at. Obviously, you're probably going to sell them for a little bit less if you bought them and then turned around and sold them right back. Usually you're going to have to wait some time before you go and sell them if you want to actually break even or make some money. Or you could never sell them and just hold them forever. But a couple things to consider when selling generic silver rounds or bars. Now, for the rounds, you can get one of those slides to test if it's real silver. You just slide them down. It's super easy, fast to tell if this is real. As far as these, for testing that they're real, you got to actually do maybe a few more steps. You could test the surface, but if this was fake, lots of times this would be copper with the silver coating, right? So if this was fake, just testing the surface of it wouldn't really tell you if it was real or not. So they might want to drill into them. They might want to use one of those Sigma machines if they have one, which can test either one if it's real. So I would say these are a little bit easier to test, definitely for the average person if you have one of those slides. Obviously, you could put a magnet to either one. That's an easy test. And then you could do specific gravity testing, yada, yada, yada. But I would say for the average Joe, these ones, in my opinion, are a little bit easier to test. They're thinner. So yeah, I would say that's one thing to factor in as far as sellability. Another thing to factor in is these are smaller. You could sell just 1 ounce. If I wanted to sell a 10-ounce bar, guess what? I got to sell all 10 ounces. I mean, yeah, you could cut it up and try and weigh it out and everything, but that's just a complete waste of time. I mean, I guess depending on how high the price of silver goes in the future, right? Right now we're sitting around $15 an ounce. How high could it go? Who knows? The sky's the limit. I mean, could it go up to $50 again? Absolutely. Could it sit at $15 for the next 20 years? That could happen. I don't know. I can't predict the future. But what I will say is if we look at the past, it probably is going to go up again at some point. So if these do go up to $50 an ounce, if all silver goes up to $50 an ounce, then these would be like $500 to sell, right? So you need someone who had $500 and wanted to buy one of these. So it might be a little bit harder to sell these than to sell these when this would just be like $50, right? So that's one thing you got to factor in as well. These you can break up into single ounces, which I think that does actually give this another win. These are a little bit more versatile because each one is just 1 ounce as opposed to you're stuck with a full 10 ounces. I mean, take it to the extreme, right? What if you had like only 100-ounce bars? That's super hard to find someone who's willing to buy a 100-ounce bar because that's a lot of money in silver, right? So if you're just taking it to the coin shop, maybe that's one thing, especially if they really like the 10 ouncers. But I would just say in general, it's easier to sell and get rid of the 1 ouncers. They're smaller, more versatile. You can break them up into just an ounce and you're not stuck with a full 10 ounces. So I would say that's definitely a win for the 1 ounce generic silver rounds. Now, that was my general comparison between rounds and bars. There are more factors that go into it, like which one do you like better? Do you like the bars? Do you like the rounds? I just like rounds better. To me, these look sort of like coins and they're cool. The 10-ounce bars are cool, but honestly, I don't know, they don't have as much appeal to me. So if I was just going on which one I like better, I would personally go with the rounds over the bars. But some people, oh, I'm a bar guy or I'm a bar gal, and I really like bars. Okay, that's fine. You can stack whatever you like. You can buy whatever you like. So yeah, I'm not trying to sway you either way. I'm just trying to give you some different pros and cons. For me personally, if we're just doing a straight comparison, which do I like better? I'm a rounds person, so I'm going to go with the rounds. But anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on this subject. Please post a comment down below. Are you team rounds or team bars? And thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons, out.